Welcome to the latest episode of the miniature painting series. Today we'll cover the steps to paint one of the strongest dragons still alive, the mega boss Black Dragon Kalameet. The Black Dragon Kalameet is not the easiest miniature there is to paint, but it's also not a hard one. You can easily get very nice looking results with not a lot of effort. I found it perfect to practice dry brushing, so if you want to work on this technique, this is the perfect model for you. To start this project, you will need the following colors. The first step, as usual, is priming the miniature. And we're done! You have a black dragon, thanks for checking this video. Just kidding. We have a tutorial on how to prime the miniature in the comment section below, but we'll keep going. For the second step, we'll start painting the red crystal that is encrusted on its forehead using the Flash Glitz yellow. Cover the whole diamond with the yellow, taking care not to spill outside of the shape. The next step is using Trowel's layer orange as the intermediate layer of the gradient. Paint only the exterior part of the shape, blending with the yellow, but still letting it visible in the center. We will use Mephiston red for the last part of the crystal. Paint once again on the borders, leaving the orange still visible. Repeat the same process for the eyes, leaving the center of the eyes a bit more to the front yellow and the back more to the red. For the fifth step, we use Rhinox hide to add some depth to the skin color. We will paint the skin of the wings, the chest and belly of the beast. Use a thin mix and pull the brush from the center of the wing to the tip, trying to make the brush touch only the elevated areas of the texture. This way you have a darker shade of brown on the top and the raw black primer below to enhance the textures and shadow. Repeat the process on both wings and the small skin on the elbows of the dragon. Do the same for the chest, belly and lower part of the tail, always pulling from the head to the tail to have the same type of effect. Finally, add a layer on the side parts of the head between the horns and the top of the head. Once it dried, we will dry brush Kieslev flesh. Yes, I'm using a layer paint for dry brush. It does make some things harder because you have a thin paint to dry brush instead of a thick pasty one that you're used to, and you need to be way more careful to dry the brush enough and avoid weird patterns. But I wanted a lighter tone and this is what I had. If you're intimidated by this, you can try with Elder Flash dry paint. The difference should be minimal. For the wings, dry brush the center part of the wing and weight down the brush more towards the tip, applying more layers to create this gradient effect. Do the same in the small wings attached to the elbow. The wings of the model don't have the best fit, so when mine detached mid-video I used that to my favor. Use the same Kieslev flesh to dry brush the chest, belly and tail, focusing more on the very center of this line, leaving a gradient of black primer, brown and flesh. Use a smaller brush to dry brush the head parts that you painted with the brown. If you were like me and might have painted more than you wanted to, especially on the wings for example, you can cover your mistakes with Abaddon black. For the next step, we will apply some Seraphim Sepia shade on the parts we painted with the brown and flesh shades to darken it more. I'm giving the example on the detached wing because it was easier. Apply the shade on the parts of the head that were painted with the Kieslev flesh as well. The next part is paint the spikes and horns with Ushbati bone. I'm dry brushing most of the spikes to have a bit of a gradient on the bottom part to blend with the black. If you're enjoying this tutorial, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to keep updated with the latest videos. There are a lot of spikes on the back of the model, tail and legs, and they all should be covered. Same for the tip of the horn. When all spikes are done, you should have a result like this. You can use Ushbati bone for the nails as well, using the same dry brush as the spike part. To finalize the spikes, we use Seraphim Sepia shade. Apply the shade on the bottom part of the spikes, where it meets with the black, and leave the top without it to make it gradient. For the final step, we use Balthazar gold. We will lightly dry brush the gold through the model to both mimic the reflections of the environment and to bring the texture of the scales to life. Apply the gold on the parts with the black primer, taking care not to add a lot of paint to avoid having a golden dragon instead of black one with reflections. On the head part, highlight the beak and the forehead. Do the same with some parts of the horns and the sides of the head. This is the final result. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have any constructive feedback, questions or suggestions, don't hesitate to drop in the comment sections below. Let us know if you painted or intend to paint using any of the tutorials. I'm very curious to know if those are helpful. Also, hit the bell button to get a notification when the next episode is up. See you next time!